So a friend of mine passed away a couple of weeks ago. So the walk that I'm doing is a walk that he told me about. So I'm going to see in a plane crash site up near Higher Shelf Stones. As you can see, visibility is at a minimal. I have brought Steph and the dogs with me today, but like I said, I don't know how far we're going to get. It's quite a lot of wind chill. We'll see what we can do. See if we make it, see if we don't. If not, I'll have to come back another day. I'll have to get it finished. But luckily it's a route that I know quite well, so it doesn't really matter that the visibility is not so good. It is programmed into my Garmin as well, so I've got that as backup. It looks like the clag's cleared up a little bit on this bit, as you can see. Still a little bit foggy, but it's nothing like what it was. Still nothing like when I went on my camp the other day, but yeah, it's still a little bit foggy. But we're getting there, working our way up. I think we're about halfway from where we parked to where the crash site is, so hopefully we'll make it there, depending on if this weather stays like it is now and doesn't get any cooler. But I will update you as we carry on. So I don't know if any of you watched my Get Steffel and the Ethel video that I filmed the other day on my failed trip to see the Duke of Lancaster ship. Well, Steffel's in the Ethels with me today. When I was saying about her being funny, she's just been complaining about the fact that we're walking through the Peak District in late autumn and that it's a bit muddy. Oh, sorry, it's a lot muddy, which, as you can see, I'll show you in every direction, it's not actually that muddy. So I've just said to her, so what do you expect? She said, well, I don't expect mud. So I don't know what she expects from walking the Peak District, which is a hill made out of mud, but clearly she doesn't expect mud. So I don't know how well that bit of footage came through. Apparently I was recording it on time lapse, but it's one of them things. It's a different video app that I use when I'm using my external mics, because for some reason the stupid camera on this Samsung won't pick up my external mics. It wants me to use the internal one, so it's just one of them things. So I said before, obviously this walk is in honour of a good friend of mine who passed away a couple of weeks ago. His name was Karl, and he's the one that told me about this. So about 2 years ago, I started working at a place in the Peak District, and Karl was the maintenance bloke that worked there. Me and Karl hit it off from day one. Very similar personalities, both like a bit of a practical joke, and we just got along really well. I also have a background in joinery, so with him being the maintenance bloke, obviously I would help him out with little bits if there was any jobs that was two-man jobs. So we got along really well. He knew that I liked hiking. At the time I could get out a lot more than I could here, partially because I was working in the Peak District. It was easier for me to get out. So I'd never massively ventured into the Peak District before that, because it always seemed a bit far away for me. So most of my walks were Wales or the Lake District. Well, I'd done a few of the peaks. I'd done all the main ones that you know, things like Kinder Scouts, Mamtor, things like that, the Cloud. And he asked me if I'd ever been up to see what he said was the B-52. So I'd said no. He said he couldn't quite remember where it was. So I did a bit of Googling, and then I found the plane that's up here near Higher Shelf Stones, and asked him if that was the one, and he said yeah. And he told me the story about it, where it had crashed, I think it's in the 1950s, and it had hit the top in very similar conditions to what I'm in now. And they reckon that the people that were in the plane hadn't even seen the ground. It was some American soldiers who were on a reconnaissance mission. I think there were 19 of them. But anyway, Karl told me about this story, and it really intrigued me. So then set out a bit of a mission to come and find it. So I'm on a different route today than I'd usually take, hoping there's a better path to it. Usually I'd go up through all the moorland, because when I used to use all trails, that's where the route used to take you, and it's quite difficult to navigate through there. Generally, if I'm going that way, take a map with me as well, because it's just easier. So it turns out the Garmin had decided to pause itself, so it wasn't a new route up along the path. It's very similar to what I normally do. As you can see, there's not a great deal of path, but like I said, luckily I know the way, so don't think Steph's so sure of it. What do you think, Steph? But it's one of the things. It is not muddy. This is, as you can all see while she's moaning, that is clearly grass, not mud.
The ground is moving.
Down there is mud. And yes, the ground is moving, but that's because it's peat and it's wet. But she needs to stop moaning and get on with it and smile. And just enjoy what we've got. Although, I think this is going to be good fun with her. So just carry on filming while I go down, just in case I fall in. Show you the route. We've just come down the waterfall bit here, and then off the tops up there, that's where we came from. And now we're going to be going up this one just in front of Steph. Oh, there we go, straight across. Doing it, Max. Come on, Max. Good girl. How are you feeling, Steph?
Tired, cold.
So that was the B29 crash site. I didn't do any talking while I was there. I shared some stills. I have took a picture of the plaque for everybody. For those who don't know, I'm dyslexic, so I'm not going to be reading that. I'd have got Steph to read it, but she was too busy in awe with it being the first time she's been up here looking at all the different things, so I couldn't catch her for longer than 2 minutes. So we're currently just walking up this little short path now. See Steph disappearing into clouds in the distance, and in a couple of minutes we'll be at higher shelf stones. So we just got up to Trig Point. Our film was going touching it like as is customary, and then we'll have a bit of a sit down. I'm going to have that bit just for me and Steph, and then I'll do a bit of filming while we're coming down from the higher shelf stones. Come on, Max. Got it. So that's another Trig Point done, although I've done this one before. So yeah, higher shelf stones. Generally, it's a lovely view that way, but obviously today it is very cloudy. Hey, Max. So that's most of the moorland bit gone through now. I didn't feel much of that. It was really, really boggy today, so I need to ensure I have both hands in case I needed them, especially with having the dogs with me. So yeah, I didn't film that bit, but as you can see, the views here really nice. There's still a bit of clag, but nowhere near as bad as it was. If you look behind me, you can't even see higher shelf stones. So yeah, we're just walking along this bit now. I think we're about a mile away from the car. Just on the final stretch now, you can actually see where the cars are, just behind Steph. So I'm not going to do any final thoughts or anything on this. I'm not going to be doing any of the like, share, subscribe or anything. It's not really appropriate with what this video means to me. I'm not going to share my channel banner at the end. I just I just want to say, Karl, you're my brother, I love you, I miss you, mate.